It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be building our best squad in NBA 2K24 that can be assembled. Now, before I talk about this, I just want to preface this video by saying, if you were to start from scratch and buy this squad as it is right now, you'd probably, again, this is just me, I don't have the exact calculations, probably spend close to $1,000 though, okay? So keep that in the back of your guys' minds. My team is pretty expensive, as it always has been, always will be. So don't feel like you always need these players, but if you want the best squad, this is what you guys are looking at. Now, this is just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. At the starting point guard position, I'm plugging in James Harden. When I look at James Harden, I look at a card that his base card comes with 51 total badges. That's impressive in its own right. Now, I know he can't get clamps, but every other badge in the game, James Harden is able to get. Now, with that all being said, I'm not gonna lie. 2K this year, hey, you don't need clamps, number one. And number two, the one thing I would say about it is, it's one of those things, he's got speed, he's got perimeter, he's got lateral quickness, he's got a lot of other things going for him. And so that's the one thing I would say about James Harden. He's got a good release, he's got great overall badges, and in a great release. Talk about a 300 point guard. James Harden's exactly that. He's 6'5" as well, which is just going to be able to, he's going to make a lot of plays for you guys. From top to bottom, I think James Harden is one of the most complete point guards and my most complete point guard in the entire game. That's why he's plugged in right here. At the shooting guard position, guys, I'm plugging in PG-13. In my opinion, the best shooting guard in the entire game. A lot of people might disagree with me, and that is okay. But name another better shooting guard. Oh, wait, I think Paul George is exactly that. Good frame, good release, can do a lot of things on the court for you guys. And so for me, when I'm looking at things, I mean, I just don't think there are that many cards that can do more than Paul George can do. Now, that's just me, in my opinion, but he shoots the ball well. He plays good defense. He can make that occasional play for you. I just overall am a massive fan of what Paul George brings to the table. He is, in my opinion, the best shooting guard in the game. Until we get like a hyped up Kobe Bryant, I think Paul George is here to stay. The best part about him is he's not behind a lock-in. You can just go and buy him, and I absolutely love that. At the small forward position, this one should not be a surprise to anybody, LeBron James. Now, why should this not be a surprise? Because LeBron James is so elite in my team. There's nothing he can't do on the court. Now, say I'm gassing him, say whatever you want. I am a big Bron stan in my team because he literally can do everything on the court at an elite level. You want the best on-ball defender, LeBron James is there. You want the best guy at attacking the rim, LeBron James is exactly that. Anything you guys want on the court, LeBron James is exactly that. He does everything at such a high level. And for that, I got to put some respect on his name. Sure, he's $100. Sure, I mean, I wouldn't recommend the majority of people watching this buying him. But if you do want the best team in the game, it has to 110% include LeBron GOAT James. At the power forward position, another buy team card in Giannis Antetokounmpo. I didn't get Giannis for my squad. Do I regret it? I mean, that's a tough question because, I mean, I gotta be honest with you guys. He makes the best squad in the game and he's gonna play for quite some time. So I don't know if I necessarily regret it, but it is one of those things. Like, Greek is so elite. And even for me, guys, I got like Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. Those guys can definitely compete, but there's levels to it. And the Greek freak in my team rebounds the ball at an elite level. He dunks on everybody. He can knock down that occasional shot. He is so dominant, it's absolutely ridiculous. Giannis Antetokounmpo definitely in the lineup. And I'm plugging Chet at center. Some people would run Giannis at center, Chet at power forward. Honestly, I think either way you put it, you can switch your own matchups. These two cards definitely deserve to be in my starting lineup. Chet, in my opinion, the best stretch big in the entire game. Sure, his strength rating is pretty low, so if you come up against the team, you know, with Giannis and Shaq front court, you might struggle a little bit. But the one thing about Chet is he's got good length. He's going to stretch the floor at an elite level and knock down shots. And I think right now in my team, that is so, I don't even want to say underrated, but kind of slept on, right? Your just ability overall to knock down shots at a high level, I think is super, super valuable and super important. And I think Chet does that about as good as anyone else. Chet, my starting center. Heading into the bench, this one should be no surprise. My bench point guard, SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I am a massive, massive SGA stan. Now, do I like James Harden more than him? I think it's a tough question because I think I do. But with that being said, I don't know. I'm still debating it because Shai is 6'8". Shai's got a great release. I just think James Harden, badge-wise and player build, has a wider player build. So, I mean, both those cards, in my opinion, are absolutely elite. Just whoever you're comfortable with. Or do you want to spend money for Harden or grind for Shai? That's really the question if you don't have either of them. For me, I mean, you can't go wrong either way. I think both of them are the top 2 point guards in the game. That's why, you know, one's starting, one's on the bench. I don't think you can go wrong either way. My bench shooting guard, I'm plugging in a Michael Jordan. Here's the deal. The best shooting guard defense player in the entire game. Thought about plugging in some other guys there, but when I really stopped to think about it, I'm like, you know what? I like MJ. I respect him. Is his release a little on the slower side of things? Absolutely. I think everybody would agree. Everybody is going to, yeah, just agree with that. But with that being said, he's going to defend, and he can make that occasional play as well. I'm excited for when MJ gets that release on quick because hopefully it makes it a little better. Maybe they'll even change it eventually this year. MJ is still elite, especially always defensively for me. At the small forward position, a card I really do not love is Kevin Durant. Now, I don't love KD, but I respect him enough to realize he's probably the second most complete small forward in the entire game. Do I love Scottie Pippen? Yes. Do I love guys like Andre Kirilenko? Absolutely. But are they quite as complete as Kevin Durant? They're just not. They're just not. And I'm sorry. That's the way it is. That's the way it's got to be. I love Scottie Pippen. I love AK. They're a great alternative options in this type of spot. But when you're talking about the best team in the game, KD has to be included. At the power forward position, this one might surprise some people. I'm plugging in Diamond Chris Bosh. I basically say it in every video I record now, but when they updated the shooting or changed Bosh's release, whatever they did, he is so green now. I used to not be able to hit a shot with Chris Bosh, and ever since they updated whatever they did, he does not miss for me. He's 6'11", doesn't miss. What else do I need at the power forward position? He's got Hall of Fame rebound chaser as well. I think Chris Bosh is borderline one of the most slept on cards in the entire game to this day. Every time I use Chris Bosh, I enjoy my time. I'm a big fan of him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Chris Bosh, in my opinion, makes my best squad. At the center position, this one's really preference. I'm plugging in Wilt. I also want to plug in Shaq. I think it's preference between those two cards, but I can't figure out another center that I'd rather run. Now, if you want to split up a guy like Giannis and Chet, you could, and then I guess you could run a guy like Pascal Siakam if you wanted to, or, you know, anybody else that you guys personally want to run. But I think Wilt and Shaq can definitely hold it down at that center position. And I think SJ has a decent enough three ball, decent enough mid-range that you can maybe work it out. Now, maybe you want to start SGA and move Harden into that bench unit just because Harden's going to be a little better of a 3-hunter, and you want to compare, or you want to, you know, pair up your 3-hunting guy with your interior big. So maybe what I want to do is something like that. So then, you know, you got more options, right, on your bench unit. If Harden's hitting, then they can't, you know, they got to respect it and guard Harden. Meanwhile, you got a big Wilt Chamberlain rolling to the rim. And so that's kind of why I like pairing them. The way it is right now is because you got to have a 300 if you're running Wilt or Shaq. In my 11th spot, guys, I'm plugging in Lonzo Ball. Why? Because if you need a stop, if you need a defensive point guard, Lonzo Ball is exactly that. Now, I don't love Lonzo as far as an overall point guard compared to SGA, compared to James Harden. But when you're talking about specifically on the defensive end of the court, he blows them out of the water, and it's not particularly close. And again, I love Lonzo, I love SGA, I love Harden. I've got all of them on my squad as it stands right now. But again, when I'm looking at it from an outside perspective, I think if I needed a stop, Lonzo Ball would be on my court because I know he's going to play defense at an elite level. In my 13th, last spot, Brandon Roy. If you want to plug in Brandon Roy over Michael Jordan, I've got no problem with that at all. I have no issues. They're different players. But I think it's important to note both players are really, really solid and going to do their own thing at a high level. MJ, more of a slasher defensive player. Brendan Roy can 3-hunt a little bit better. So, I like both cards. I think both cards are really, really good at what they're specifically going to give you. It just comes down to what you personally prefer. For me, I think right now it is MJ, especially if they're running alongside James Harden. That is going to wrap it up for my best team right now in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Basically, it is. It's all diamonds across the board, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's why when people are like, buy team, it's real. It's a lot. We don't really even have that many good amethyst cards in my team, and it's crazy to say, but that's the truth. I'm scrolling through the menus right now. Best Amis right now are like Jaren, Andre Kirilenko, Scottie Pippen. We still do not have that many great Amis, and it absolutely stinks. But hey, it is what it is. This is what you're looking at when you look at the best squad in the game. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.